Alright, let's go through this, actually the first side of this worksheet. I gave it out before the fourth quarter started, but let's do this one now, just to review a few things. So compare the brightness of 1 and 7. In this circuit, we look at this first branch here. We'll call this a branch. And this branch here. And 1 and 7 are sort of what they call the indicators for these branches, so they get all the current. So if all the current that goes through this branch 1 gets, if all the current that goes through this branch 7 gets, then you just have to compare the amount of current that goes through these. So the amount of current that will go through these is going to be dependent on the resistance, and for this branch here the resistance could be a little bit higher. It's got the same number of pathways but 1 extra bulb, so that means a little less current. So you're going to say that 1 gets a little bit more than 7. 4 and 6, if you choose the path 4 versus 6, the pathway to 6 is less resistance, so 6 is going to be a little bit brighter than 4. 3 to 5, we already said that this branch gets a little bigger current than this section, so that means that 3 gets half of a bigger amount and 5 gets less than half of a smaller amount. So then we know right off the bat that 3 is greater than 5. We've got, what if I unscrew 7? If I unscrew 7, that basically cuts that circuit, so I've lost a bunch of pathways. However, bulb 1 has essentially, besides this clutter, which I'm not doing anything to, has its own connection to the battery. So in our case, bulb 1, really being independent to the battery, really doesn't care too much about what happens over here. So 1 is no change, because the pathway did not have to go through anything over here. Okay. The change in brightness for bulb 2, if bulb 1 is unscrewed, well, if I unscrew 1, I have no connection to the battery, so 2 is out. Okay, so there's our top part. If you remember doing these. Here I got a switch. When the switch is closed, rank the bulbs. So I'm going to have A, and then B, and then, or sorry, there's not A and B, never mind. 1 is greater than 2, is greater than 3, which is equal to 4. Easy enough. How does the brightness of bulb 1 change when the switch is opened? Bulb 1 has its own path, so 1 is no change. Has its own path to the battery. Independent, right? It doesn't have to go through anything over there. The bulb 2, when the switch is opened, I just lost the pathway. This pathway is now lost. So when you lose a pathway, you are gaining resistance. So when you gain resistance, less current is going to go your way, so 2 will get dimmer with the switch open. Okay, so that was that one.